our interests, right? And you got to explain that in your own words, right? Maybe you could say that the US and USSR, okay, have reduced priorities, all right, in their former client states, right, and therefore reduce influence over them. And to Norrie McQueen, this is the reason why peacekeeping in the post-Cold era is going to meet with more problems rather than less, right? And that's what you got to note, all right? And we like this source. Why? Because it doesn't have emotional language, because even when it's trying to argue a point, it uses words like seems to suggest, right? As you can see here, right? Take a look at here. See? And you can see here that it says here that see seems to suggest, right? And again, even when it's making a point, it uses a very non-emotive word like appeared, right? See, appeared, right? Right. So that's what we should probably note. All right. And another thing is that right, let me just put that up here. It's non-emotive, such as the seem to suggest. And another thing you got to note is that it is by an academic, right? An academic, and academics, even though by themselves are not good enough as a reliability factor, when paired with how they write in non-emotive tone, it's a good point to make, right? All right. So an academic, all right, credible, okay, educational purposes, so on, right? You know the drill, all right. And take a look at the fact that it's really 1999, which is a better point of view, all right, than say 1993, right? Because 1999 is able to have a greater distance from the actual events to be able to give a holistic and objective view analysis, okay, of the whole situation. All right. And do note that be very careful of sources that appear in 1992 for this sense. Why? That's because even though the UN was set up in 1945, the period under review and commentary is actually from 89 to 90. 92, right? Because that's the post-Cold War keeping era. See? So if a source evidence say 93 or 94 is actually very, very close to the events that is seeking to give comments on, right? So don't be confused, right? Don't say that oh well, the UN was set up in 1945, and therefore if a source was written in 1991, then it has historical distance, right? That's not true. All right. Coming on to source E, we could see that there's a lot of information here, generally quite neutral. And you should note here that there's this new political thinking about the Gorbachev era, which means that if you have no idea about all the contextual knowledge cases, peacekeeping operations, at least you could try pushing in a Cold War era, contextual knowledge that you might have from studying your Cold War material. Right? I don't recommend it because it's probably not very relevant, but if you have nothing else, you may as well give it a shot, right? But what you got to note here is that this is very clear cut that it is this confirmed source, right? Take a look at it, is that the UN is simply not equipped. All right, what's the essence here? It's just you have to quote the right part. The essence is that UN is simply not equipped. All right, which say all right. And the fact that the Security Council is the de facto decision maker undermines the UN neutrality, which is UN not neutral. All right, okay, dependent on Security Council's all right interests. right? And you got to notice that that we got. Can you find a hook for this? Because now check out what is the source D, right? Retraction of superpower interest here, dependent on SC's interest, right? And and another essence for source B is, right, you can see here that one of the source B is that it is more demands, right? More demands has a very nice hook with the fact that it is simply not equipped because the demands are growing in volume, and therefore the UN is not equipped, right? Because new tasks were added, more missions were decided, and the UN is simply not equipped, right? And it is a very nice hook that both source E as well as source B talks about the fact that it is not that they were more powerful, but it simply means that there are more demands made on her, right? Okay, so what we got to talk about here is about its reliability. Now check out that it's a UN document, and the UN document is actually criticizing itself. Okay, that means criticizing the UN organization, right? And this it's good. We like this, right? And they even criticize themselves on the 50th anniversary, right? What could be better than this, right? So in terms of reliability, we like it. And another element you should note is also that they cited a lot of statistics here, so which makes it relatively what we call objective, because there's a lot of evidence that's cited. All right, and uh, that's great. And some common errors that you should note, uh, like it's the fact that like what we have here. All right, take a look at this. All right, you should take a look at how they say that this person is trying to do a reliability check. It says ambiguous language. All right, okay, and brought a time of hope and change, which undermines the reliability of the source. Um, I'm not so sure about ambiguous language, because hope and change seems quite explicit to me. What you should probably say is that it's very emotional, right? Because we don't like emotion. All right. If you're talking about ambiguous language, you could say it's not clear, which might mean that it's not too useful, but it doesn't really give us that much to latch on with regard to reliability. So that's why I don't like to use the word ambiguous, but rather I would like to term that as very emotional language. All right, so that's one of the things that maybe you want to take note of. All right, I think we have basically gone through this whole thing. Hopefully you guys are more better prepared. All right, hopefully. And with that, wish you guys all the best.